Now, you see this here. The European powers gathered forces. They gathered their forces to attack Africa. So back in the day, Africa was doing well for itself. It was trading internationally. It was doing well for itself, right? But they don't want you to know that, but it was. So that's why they came in and started disrupting Africa, causing problems for the Africans, right? And then they colonized Africa. And then, somehow black people are despised and everything like that because they've been warring for us for centuries. So if you pay attention to what they're doing with Russia and China, they're demonizing them. The Russians are the worst. The Chinese are the worst, right? So if you have centuries of this, people are going to get indoctrinated into thinking that the Russians and the Chinese are horrible. So let's say they get control of Russia and China like they got control of Africa. Now, anywhere the Chinese or the Russians go, they're going to be pariahs. They're going to be the worst. They're going to replace black people because they were the enemy for centuries. And the people around the entire world are conditioned to believe that these people are the worst of the worst, and they're just going to treat them as second-class citizens. That's exactly what they did to Africans, to black people. That's why there's this attitude, because nobody asks, hey, like, they invaded our country. They invaded Africa. They took Africans from their own country, continent, and went to another place, forced them to work, and treated them like crap. We're the problem? You invaded our country, and then you took us somewhere else, and then you're treating us like crap, but somehow we are the problem. You understand? We are the problem. Well, that's because they've been warring with us for centuries. And they taught their people to demonize us, to look down on us. So that's why there's this attitude towards black people throughout the centuries. They want to do the same thing to China and Russia. But the thing is that they are prepared. They are prepared. You see, the Africans, on the other hand, they weren't prepared. They didn't realize that the European forces were, trying to gather, trying to take everything from them. Because that's what they did. They pretty much took everything from the Africans and said that, oh, you guys don't have a history, don't worry about it. But yet they have their artifacts, African artifacts, throughout their museums and private collections. Why are you doing that? Right? It's these are supposed to be inferior people. So it's like rich people going to the slums and invading the slums and taking artifacts from the people in the slums and proudly putting in their museums and private collections. What? Doesn't make any sense, right? No, it's because the Africans were doing well for themselves back in the day, and they wanted to disrupt that. The same way that the Chinese are doing well for themselves right now, they want to disrupt that. Even the Russians are obviously doing well for themselves because they're putting sanctions on them, and then look what happens. Now they're back to being okay. So the Russians are pretty much self-sufficient. They don't like that. They don't like that. They don't like competition. But the thing is that if you want to be ahead of the game and stuff like that, you're supposed to uplift other nations. These people haven't uplift other nations. They just want to take from other nations, siphon, all the stuff from other nations and give it to themselves and keep the other nations down. That's what they want to do. And that's just totally unacceptable, and it's so obvious, and these people have to be stopped.